Hello and welcome to Fernbank Science Center's The Sky This Week for August 8th through 14, 2021. We begin the week with the moon at new phase, have some bright stars to look for in the early morning sky, and the Perseid meteor shower happens toward the end of this week. Keep an eye on the sky. Sunday, August 8th, we begin with the moon at new phase. The moon has moved along its orbit. It's in the same part of the sky with the sun, so we don't get to see it in the nighttime sky. I think of the new moon as no moon in the evening sky. New moon, Sunday, August 8th. Get up early on the morning of August 9th, 4:15 or so, and face the eastern part of the sky to see some of the wintertime constellations creeping up as the Earth moves along its orbit. East is the direction the sun appears to rise, so point your nose that way when you're at your observing site. Look down near the horizon. On this image, see if you can find three pretty bright stars, pretty big dots, in a vertical line, the belt of Orion the Hunter. See if you can spot those. Here is Orion's belt, these three stars. His shoulders, his knees, got to use a lot of imagination here. A curve of stars, or a drawn bow or a shield, maybe, in between the hunter and Taurus the bull we looked at last week. So if you can find Orion early in the morning, it might be helpful to have some lines and dots added. Orion is sometimes called a giant or a hunter in the sky. And our friends at earthsky.org have provided a helpful graphic showing the belt of Orion, some of the brighter stars, his shield, and sometimes he's shown with a club in his other hand for hunting down animals. See if you can find where Orion is early on the morning of August 9th. Now, as Earth continues along our orbit, that constellation will be visible. Right now, we see it in the early morning sky. By wintertime, it will be in the evening sky. We'll see it just after the sun goes down. Look over toward the north part of the sky. If you have your sunrise direction in mind, put your right shoulder toward the direction of sunrise, and your nose will be pointing toward the north part of the sky. There are several patterns here. You probably remember these. The Big Dipper, tail in the trees there. Cup shape for a handle. The cup, rather. Follow the two pointer stars, and you'll come to the bright, sort of, North Star on the end of the handle of the Little Dipper. Much smaller pattern, much dimmer stars, a little harder to find on the sky. Continue straight on, and you'll come to the zigzag, upside down W, Cassiopeia, the queen. And just off one arm of hers is a string of stars, two strings, the constellation of Perseus, the hunter. This time of year, people are interested in Perseus for the Perseid meteor shower. And that peaks, or is predicted to peak, this year between August 11th and 12th. So the night of the 11th over to the 12th. Best time to view is between midnight and when the sun comes up, or just before sunrise. And for this one, you want, for the best view, a clear, no clouds, dark, no light pollution, sky. And you want to look at the whole big dark sky. Perseid meteors, while they might, most of them appear near that constellation of Perseus, they're all over the sky. Now, it's not going to look like snow falling. It'll be the occasional meteor. So you have to spend some time, get your eyes dark adapted, take half an hour or so for your eyes to adjust to the dark, then watch patiently. Spend a couple of hours if you can, watching for those shooting stars, 11th of August over to the 12th. By the next night, the moon will have moved along its orbit for several days, and instead of being new moon, it's now a waxing crescent moon. The right side has a little thin line of light from the sun. And on Friday the 13th, see if you can find the planet Venus. It's a bright, looks like a star over toward the western part of the sky, opposite from where the sun rose. And the crescent moon, if you look at it with binoculars, if you have a good dark sky, you might be able to see what's called Earthshine. Dylan O'Donnell took this picture back in 2015 on the Astronomy Picture of the Day at NASA's website, and it shows that thin, waxing crescent moon where the light is on the right-hand side. And then on the left-hand side, the old moon in the new moon's arms, if you're of a poetic bent. Think about the way the sun shines all over out in space. So the sunlight is shining on the moon, it's shining on the Earth as well. And that's reflecting off Earth's surface back out into space and lighting up the side of the moon that's, quote, the dark part. See if you can find that toward the end of this week. Check it out with binoculars if the sky is clear, and see if you can find Earthshine. And as always, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for following Fernbank Science Center's website, www.fernbank.edu, for tuning in on Friday evenings to our Facebook page for the virtual planetarium programs and for our Saturday science programs as well. And as always, have a great week.